Tradition 5. Each group has but one primary purpose: to carry this message to the alcoholic who still suffers. Spiritual meanings are carrying the message, giving comfort to others who are still suffering, and each group is its own spiritual entity. Like each person is its own spiritual entity. Those people together form a group that's its own spiritual entity. The first sentence is shoemaker, stick to thy last. So I had to look that up. This proverb means do not try to interfere or do that of others. Better to do one thing supremely well than many badly. That is the central theme of this tradition. Around it, our society gathers in unity. The very life of our fellowship requires the preservation of this principle. Each person has a slot that they fit in, whether you know it or not. We all have a space that we fit in. You can't force yourself to fit in a spot that's not yours. You can't. Like, for instance, I don't think I could ever run a recovery house. I've got the patience for it. That's somebody else's spot. It will be made evident. Alcoholics Anonymous can be likened to a group of physicians who might find a cure for cancer and upon whose concerted work, concerted means jointly arranged, planned, or carried out, coordinated, whose concerted work would depend the answer for sufferers of this disease. Working together as a group. True, each physician in such a group might have his own specialty. Every doctor concerned would at times wish he could devote himself to his chosen field rather than work only with the group. Devote means give all or a large part of one's time or resources. But once these men had hit upon a cure, once it became apparent that only by their united effort could this be accomplished, then all of them would feel bound to devote themselves solely to the relief of cancer. In the radiance of such a miraculous discovery, any doctor would set his other ambitions aside at whatever personal cost. Goals and dreams. So, since this was written in what year? I mean, we know the program started and, the big book was written in 1939. And the copyright on here, the original copyright was 1952, reprinted in 1981. This is the year 2024. This is the age of information. So if you take this and apply it to the year that you're living in, okay, instead of saying, let's expand our understanding of what a group is in Alcoholics Anonymous. If I were to use all my effort, all my energy, all my time to, like, I have to walk a block to get to my car and then drive to a group and sit there for an hour when there's two people there and drive back and walk another block, I'm reaching two people. So back then, that was the only way to do it. There was no other way. There was no internet. I think even then, phones were pretty much miraculous. Phones lacked any in, they lacked any facial expression. They lacked a lot of things. The benefits of being in person, excuse me, with another human being in a group is that your energy can actually heal them. Mine can. On this, in the same token, I can't sit in a group all the time because it just sucks the energy right out of me. Anyway, just as firmly bound by obligation are the members of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now let me go back. So they're talking about working together to save people's lives. Okay? A united effort. Okay? And devoting yourself to it. Okay? It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about helping other people. Just as firmly bound by obligation are the members of Alcoholics Anonymous who have demonstrated that they can help problem drinkers as others seldom can. The unique ability of each AA to identify himself with and bring recovery to the newcomer in no way depends upon his learning, eloquence, or on any special individual skills. Okay, so when they're talking about eloquence and skills, okay, talking about you don't have to be a professional speaker. Thank God. You don't have to know on learning, you don't have to have graduated college. You don't have to go to special classes. But I would say that there are special skills that we have. The only thing that matters is that he's an alcoholic who has found a key to sobriety, secret to sobriety. These legacies of suffering and recovery are easily passed among alcoholics, one to the other. This is our gift from God. Who? God. And his bestowal upon others like us is the one aim that today animates AAs all around the globe. Bestowal means something given to someone without expectation of a return. So I can't earn this. I can't earn the gift that God's given me. You can't buy God. And I can't earn it's a gift. There's nothing I can do. I don't know what to say. There are certain things you can do to improve your odds of receiving this gift of God. So, and here are the things, there are certain things you can do that improve your odds when you're not going to like it. In fact, the things that you don't want to do are probably the very things that will improve your odds of receiving this gift. I think it's called detox treatment. recovery houses, meetings, and prayer, meditation, simple stuff. If you do not do those things, you do not get to receive the benefit. If you do nothing, you get nothing. The more you do, the more you get. See, I was willing to do stuff nobody else was willing to do, so I feel like that's why God blessed me, because I was willing to go 200% in for the Lord. There's another reason for this singleness of purpose. Oh, that's what it is, singleness of purpose. It is the great paradox of AA that we know we can seldom keep the precious gift of sobriety unless we give it away. And then it's in the receiving that we give. Now, we know in this year of 2024, that's the law of reciprocation. If I were to, that's what it is, look it up. If a group of doctors possessed a cancer cure, they might be conscience stricken if they failed their mission through self-seeking. Okay, that's saying if someone found the cure to cancer and decided to hold that back, and like they're doing nowadays, overcharge so much where nobody can afford it and people are dying, then a normal human being would have a conscience and not want to do that. They'd want to help. Normal people want to help. If you're not wanting to help, you're a sick person. Yet such a failure wouldn't jeopardize their personal survival. They wouldn't die. For us, if we neglect those who are still sick, there's an unremitting danger to our own lives and sanity. So if you can help people get clean and sober and you withhold your gift intentionally, maybe you don't like someone. Maybe you think they don't deserve to be sober. Maybe you don't think they deserve to be helped. And you're judge and jury, and you condemn them to die. Or maybe you don't think that you don't like them in your group. So you outcast them and condemn them to die. Now there's a danger to your life. Now you might die and you might go crazy, okay? Because what you give, you're going to receive. That's what this is saying. Under these compulsions of self-preservation, duty, and love, it is not strange that our society has concluded that it has but one high mission: to carry the AA message to those who don't know there's a way out. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Highlighting the wisdom of AA singleness of purpose, a member tells this story. Restless one day, I felt I'd better do some 12-step work. You really can't buy the stairway to heaven, but you can try. And, it does work for a while, but eventually we need a higher calling. If the only reason that I'm trying to help another person is so that I don't die, then that's not the highest calling. That's a low calling. It's a selfish motive. I understand. I'm just saying that's my own point in there. Maybe I should take out some insurance against a slip. They're trying to buy their sobriety. But first I'd have to find a drunk to work on. Excuse me. So I hopped the subway to Towns Hospital, where I asked Dr. Silkworth if he had a prospect. Let me go back and say there are different levels. Nothing too promising, the little doc said. There's just one chap on the third floor who might be a possibility, but he's an awfully tough Irish man. I never saw a man so obstinate. He shouts that if his partner would treat him better and his wife would leave him alone, he'd soon solve his alcohol problem. He had a bad case of DTs, he's pretty foggy, and he's very suspicious of everybody. Doesn't sound too good, does it? But working with him may do something for you, so why don't you have a go at it? You need to look up that word paradox yourself. I was soon sitting, let me go back. Paradox, okay. The paradox of AA, we can't keep sobriety unless we give it away. Paradox is a seemingly absurd or self contradictory statement that, when investigated or explained, may prove to be well founded or true. Anyway, back to the story. I was soon sitting beside a big hulk of a man, decidedly unfriendly. He stared at me out of eyes which were slits in his red and swollen face. I had to agree with the doctor. He certainly didn't look good, but I told him my own story. I explained what a wonderful fellowship we had, how well we understood each other. I bore down hard on the hopelessness of the drunk's dilemma. A dilemma is a predicament, a puzzle, a tricky situation, catch 22. I insisted that few drunks could ever get well on their own steam, but that in our groups we could do together what we could not do separately. He interrupted to scoff at this and asserted he'd fix his wife, his partner, and his alcoholism by himself. He mocked and laughed. Scoff means to mock, sneer, laugh to scorn, tease, poke fun at. Sarcastically, he asked, "How much does your scheme cost?" I was thankful I could tell him nothing at all. His next question, "What are you getting out of it?" Of course, my answer was my own sobriety and a mighty happy life. Still dubious, doubtful, he demanded, "Do you really mean the only reason you are here is to try to help me and to help yourself?" "Yes," I said, "that's absolutely all there is to it. There's no angle. That means there's no ulterior motive or hidden agenda. There's no trick, no manipulation." Then hesitantly, I ventured to talk about the spiritual side of our program. What a freeze that drunk gave me. I'd no sooner got the word spiritual out of my mouth than he pounced. "Oh," he said, "now I get it. You're proselytizing for some damn religious sect or another. Where do you get that no angle stuff? I belong to a great church that means everything to me. You've got a nerve to come in here talking religion." So he thinks that the guy's trying to convert him from his own ways, religion, to another. Thank heaven I came up with the right answer for that one. As AA is not a religion. Okay, thank heaven I came up with the right answer for that one. It was based foursquare on the single purpose of AA. "You have faith," I said. "Perhaps far deeper faith than mine. No doubt you're better taught in religious matters than I. So I can't tell you anything about religion. I don't even want to try. I'll bet, too, that you could give me a letter perfect definition of humility. But from what you've told me about yourself and your problems and how you propose to lick them, I think I know what's wrong." "Okay," he said, "give me the business." Well, said I think you're just a conceited Irishman who thinks he could run the whole show." This really rocked him. But as he calmed down, he began to listen while I tried to show him that humility was the main key to sobriety. Finally, he saw that I wasn't attempting to change his religious views, that I wanted him to find the grace in his own religion that would aid his recovery. From there on, we got along fine. And I'll tell you what, sometimes you got to really get a little bold, a little blunt, a little sassy. Because if you're too nice, they won't hear you. Now concludes the old timer, suppose I'd been obliged to talk to this man on religious grounds. Suppose my answer had to be the AA needed a lot of money. The AA went in for education, hospitals, and rehabilitation. Suppose I'd suggested that I take a hand in his domestic and business affairs, where would that have wound up? No place, of course. Years later, this tough Irish customer liked to say, my sponsor sold me on one idea, and that was sobriety. At the time, I couldn't have bought anything else. That's what that's about. Have a good day.